It was a boiling hot summer's night. I was working as a babysitter at the time, and I had found a new client. The mother of the young girl called me up one day and said, "Hi, would it be okay? I hear you're a babysitter. Could you just come round for the evening? We're going out for dinner. We'll pay you X amount." I said, "Yeah, sure, always open to new clients." So I booked my time slot for that evening. They said, "Could you be here around 7 p.m? I said, "Yep, sure, no worries. Is there any requirements she needs and stuff?" They went, No worries. We'll talk you through everything when you get here." I said, "No worries." So I carried on with my day, and once it got to about 4 p.m, I got all my stuff ready to go round her house. When I got there, I was shocked. It wasn't like any of my other clients' house. It was huge, right in the middle of the countryside. Absolutely stunning place. So I went inside and they welcomed me and told me all the instructions for the evening and that the girl needed to be in bed by 9 p.m. She must have been about 10 and the parents were probably in their late 30s or 40s. I said, "Yep, no worries," and they left the house to go out for their evening. I sat down with the girl and said, "What do you want to do?" She said, "I don't mind. Do you want to watch a film or something?" "Yeah, sure." So we put a comedy on and we just sat down and watched it for a bit. It got to about 9 p.m. and she needed to go to bed now, so I took her upstairs and put her to sleep. Once I came back downstairs, I just wanted to sit on my laptop for a bit, get a bit of work done and watch a bit of Netflix maybe afterwards, as the parents wouldn't be home till very, very late that night. So I got my laptop out and started doing some work. But then I noticed something. In the corner of my eye, right by the TV, I didn't notice it earlier. It was a clown statue, almost staring straight at me. I thought it was really creepy and a bit of a strange thing to have in their house, especially by the TV, because it was huge and very creepy. I was very surprised that the girl liked this. However, I didn't want to move it because it could have been sentimental to them. About an hour later, the parents called. The dad said to me, "Oh, hi, how are you getting on?" I said, "Yeah, no worries, she's just gone to bed now." But then I did question. I said, "There's this really creepy clown statue. Do you mind if I move it? Because I'm not really good with scary things and it's creeping me out a bit. Or is it like sentimental or something?" He said to me, "Clown statue?" "Yeah," I said. There's like a big one by the TV, Can I move it? Is that okay?" But he said, "We don't have a clown statue." My eyes widened and my mouth dropped. I was absolutely terrified. Why was there a clown statue in the house then? I said, "Well, I didn't bring it here. Did your daughter? Did she bring it home today?" He said, No, that wasn't there when we left." They said, "Did you go outside or anything to play?" I said, "Yeah, we did for a little bit earlier." He said, "Okay." We were both just as confused as each other. He then hung up the phone. I moved the clown statue and thought, what the hell is going on here? I then heard something. Footsteps. Coming from upstairs. I then realised something was slightly off here. So I downloaded the CCTV app they told me to look at so I could monitor their daughter when she was sleeping if anything were to happen. Once I got on there, I was shocked and I dropped my phone to the floor and it shattered the screen. I'd never been so scared in my life. What did I see? This is the CCTV footage. I was absolutely terrified now, but I realised I needed to get the girl out of there. So I picked up their landline and I called the police. I told them there was some strange man in this house and they needed to get here immediately. I then checked the CCTV again and the guy picked up something. It was a screwdriver and he was about to do something horrific. I ran up the stairs and pushed him against the wall and I grabbed the girl and we ran outside of the house, right into the garden, and we were both terrified, but she didn't really know what was going on. I then told her what happened and she was shocked. I asked for her phone and I called the parents. They said, "What's going on?" I said, "I don't know how to tell you this. I think when we went outside, somebody got in the house." "What?" "Look at the CCTV. There was someone under your daughter's bed." They were terrified and said they were going to come home ASAP. But the police then turned up and said, What's going on then?" I showed them where the scene was and what happened, and they were terrified as well. But the clown was gone. He had obviously run off while we came outside. But where to? I guess we will never know. The only thing I do know is I definitely lost my babysitting job with those people. And I went home that night and was terrified that that clown would do the same thing to someone else. But he hasn't. It's been years now and I've never seen anything like that again. But if I ever do a babysitting job again, I'm never gonna leave the child on their own. It was Halloween 2016, and I was on my way to a babysitting job which I'd just got. When I got there, they seemed like a really nice family. The parents were going out for an evening, and me and the boy were just on our own. I believe he was about 13 or 14 at the time, but he was a bit crazy. He wasn't your average young boy, he was very grown up for his age, and didn't just want to sit and watch a film. Once the parents went out, I said to him, "What do you want to do tonight? I mean, it is Halloween at the end of the day. Do you want to watch a film or something?" "No." "Well, what do you want to do then?" "I know something really fun," he said. I said, "What is it?" He went upstairs, opened his drawer, and pulled out a game. He then brought it downstairs to me, and I said, "Well, what is it?" "It's a Ouija board." I froze and thought, no, there's not a chance I'm playing a Ouija board with a 14-year-old, and I'm babysitting him. That's crazy. He said, "Oh, come on, let's do it, it'll be great fun." I said, no. Plus, there's nowhere to do it. He said, "Oh, really?" "There is." He pointed out of his back window to a creepy shed at the end of his garden. It looked like it had been there for a long time, and it was almost like made out of stone. I said, "No, not a chance. I'm supposed to be looking after you, kid. There's no chance we're playing a Ouija board, alright? It's Halloween. We can either go out trick-or-treating around the, local neighbours, or watch a film, whatever you want to do, okay?" But he said, "No, we're playing the Ouija board. Well, I'm playing it whether you like it or not." He then walked out the back door and walked over to the shed. I really didn't want to do this, but I couldn't let him do it on his own, because that would be very, very irresponsible. So I walked over there and said, "Oh, fine. Come on then." "Yes, let's go," he said. He put the board on the ground, and I said, "I've never done one of these before." He said, "Oh, I have." "Well, what are we meant to do?" I said, "Well, the main rules are, you say hello, you ask your questions, and even if the craziest stuff happens, you always say goodbye at the end, okay?" "Oh, fine, come on then, let's do this." He put it out on the ground and started moving the thing around on top. I said, "Hello?" At first nothing happened, but then, after a couple of minutes, it became the scariest night of my life. I then heard knocking on the door of the shed. I thought, "Oi, are your parents home then? They'd be crazy if they knew we'd done this." He said, No, this must be the Ouija board." For some unknown reason, he was not scared, but I was terrified. I opened the door, and there was nothing there. When I closed it again, we asked the board again, "Hello, is there anyone there?" The knocking again, from outside of the door. But this time when I opened it, on the ground outside, was a dead animal, completely ripped apart on the floor. We both looked at each other in terror and thought, what the hell is going on here? We thought we needed to leave now, and we said, "Okay, let's get rid of this." I said, "Goodbye" to the board. But then we saw something. On the back of the wall appeared a faint text. It almost looked like it was written in blood, and it looked like something from a movie. It said, "You're next." I looked at this boy and we were absolutely terrified. I said, "We need to leave now and go inside because your parents will be home soon and we can't have any of this, can we? This is awful. We need to go now." He said, "Yeah, to be fair, I kind of agree now. This is bad." The text was still on the wall though. I said to the board again, "Goodbye. I'm really sorry for whatever we've done. Sorry for annoying you. Goodbye." We folded up the board and walked out of the door. The animal had gone, but there was now arrows on the floor, not pointing towards his house, pointing towards his well. I said, "You have a well? Why are those arrows pointing there?" "Well, my mum always says it's haunted." "What do you mean haunted?" "Well, apparently some guy, killed someone here and threw the body down the well." Jesus, well, you could have told me that, couldn't you? "Sorry. Oh, this isn't the time to argue." "True, right, okay. We followed the arrows for some unknown reason because we needed to finish the game, or it could have been even worse. We walked over to the well, and inside was a body. I screamed, and he just stared, blank-faced. We were both absolutely terrified now. We need to finish this now. I put the board back on the ground and said, "Goodbye, we are really sorry for what we've done. Goodbye." We then threw the board down the well and ran back inside the house. But when we sat back down on the sofa, the board was there on the table. Oh crap. What the hell are we gonna do? I don't know how this has happened, but it was terrifying. I said, we should never have done this in the first place. But we've started it. There's only one thing we can really do. He looked at me and said, "What's that?" I said, "Stay here. You don't want to get in any more trouble, okay?" I then walked out into the garden and over to the shed. I sat down in there and I put a cross on the board because apparently that did something to repel their souls or whatever it is. I put it down and I said, "Please, leave us now." I heard a horrible scratching sound in my ears, really, really loudly, and then more banging and banging at the door, just excruciating amounts of noise all around me from outside of the shed. But then it stopped. It just vanished. I folded up the board and walked back inside. Everything was back to normal. I said, "We did it." He took the Ouija board and he threw it in the bin, and it never returned again. When the parents returned home that night, we did not tell them what had happened. And I went home that night, and I was scared, to be honest. But I've never seen anything like that again. The one thing I know for sure, I will never do a Ouija board again in my life.